All right, guys, welcome to yet another episode of the Protestant Libertarian Podcast. Wow, I really butchered that introduction, didn't I? Let me try that again. Welcome to another episode of the Protestant Libertarian Podcast. That's very good, much better. If you're watching this on YouTube, you will notice that I am wearing the same clothes that I wore for the last 2 weeks, and that's again because I'm recording all these introductions at the same time. As I explained in both of the previous weeks, I'm taking most of July off of regular podcasting in order to work on this book on the New Testament and political and economic language. And I think it's going to be really great when it's all done. And I'm excited for you guys to read it. But what I am doing through the month of July is I am giving you for the podcast I'm giving you these podcasts that I have recorded on other people's shows. So this is not content that's original to the Protestant Libertarian Podcast, but these are my guest visits to other podcasts. The one that we have this week is going to be a little exciting. We're taking a break from Kevin Burr's Faith in the Folds podcast. Don't worry, we're going to be back next week. But we're taking a break from Kevin Burr's, and I'm going to replay you a podcast that I released, I think, back in December. The podcast is called Bibleworthy, and it is hosted by Blair Lee, another guy who's got a background in biblical studies and theology, really smart guy. And he had me on to talk about Romans 13. And I was really excited for the opportunity to revisit Romans 13 because I was pretty unsatisfied with my original episode on Romans 13. And then last year, I released an episode called Everyone is Wrong About Romans 13, which got some good feedback, but it also got some very negative feedback from people that obviously didn't listen to it. So if you're that person, I'm sorry, you should hear everything that I have to say in this episode before you cast judgment on me. But I've always had a lot of issues with the way that people have interpreted Romans 13. It's almost as if, regardless of your political perspective, our ability to perform basic exegesis on this passage just completely gets thrown out the window when it comes to Romans 13, because a lot of people have a very heavy stake in the way that it's interpreted. And that makes sense, right? And it's probably one of the most controversial, if not the most controversial passage in all of the Bible in terms of politics. And it's something that the Libertarian Christian Institute has done a lot of work on. And while I think that everyone at the Libertarian Christian Institute has done a good job commenting on Romans 13, as I said in the episode where everyone is wrong about Romans 13, including me, I'm not satisfied with the way that anyone has approached it. So after thinking about Romans 13 for the last couple of years and doing more research on it, I felt like I've actually done the best job that I've ever done. I actually did the best job that I've ever done explaining my position on Romans 13 on Blair Lee's podcast, Bibleworthy. So I really hope that you enjoyed this conversation on Romans 13. If you remember way back to my original episode, which was like in the 60s, maybe, is a long time ago. I think it was a 2023 episode. So we're talking 2 years at least since I released that episode. My opinions, my thoughts have changed on certain issues in Romans 13. And I get the opportunity to lay it all out on the Bibleworthy podcast. And I thought the conversation was really great. And I hope that you guys enjoyed that. It's a very controversial episode, or a very controversial issue. And I'd love to know what you guys think about this. And so go over and give Blair Lee a follow on Twitter, and then also follow his podcast on the RSS feeds. You will see that, unlike the episode I had last week, there is not going to be a link to a video version of this podcast. And that is because Blair and I only recorded this on audio. So there is no full video. So what you're seeing right now is just going to be just me. If you're on YouTube, what you're seeing right now is just going to be me telling you that you need to go and listen to the whole thing on either the podcast as it's released on YouTube or on one of those RSS feed websites like iTunes or Spotify. You can hear the whole episode there. If I get real savvy and remember to do that, I'll actually come back in here and I'll make sure that whatever is in this corner right up here is a link to the YouTube version of the podcast, which will be all audio only. But you should still go and listen to it. So with that being said, you obviously clicked on this to hear a podcast about Romans 13. So I'm going to shut up and I'm going to let you do it. Enjoy the next 40 minutes or 50 minutes of your life. And I hope you learn a little bit about Romans 13 as we all struggle to figure out what in the world Paul is talking about. Enjoy the episode and have a great week.